Hello, everyone. Happy Friday the 13th, and happy Valentine's Day. My name is Rob Kelly. I'm a film historian, and I'm here to give a little background on My Bloody Valentine. 1978's Halloween was a trend-setting hit for the horror genre. Not only did it essentially launch the slasher movie, but its setting around a familiar date on the calendar inspired others looking to cash in and do the same. So it didn't take long for the producers of a movie called The Secret to change it to My Bloody Valentine, thereby claiming another well-known holiday. Another element that My Bloody Valentine borrows from Halloween is the opening in the past. Like Haddonfield, this small town is forever haunted by a shocking act of violence that took place decades ago. Unlike Halloween, My Bloody Valentine adds a bit of mystery as to who the killer really is, although it gives a little hint via the names of its characters. Director George Milhouse had success with his previous film, the sex comedy Pickup Summer, so producers Andre Link and John Dunning approached him to direct the movie, which was partially financed with money from the Canadian government. Like they did with David Cronenberg in his early films, some Canadian politicians complained about tax dollars going to what they considered disreputable movies. But those complaints went away when those disreputable movies turned a profit. One group of Canadians not upset by My Bloody Valentine's violence were the townspeople, who were thrilled a movie was shooting in their backyard. The producers arrived to find the whole town had undergone a beautification effort, making it look clean and colorful like Disneyland, the exact opposite look they were going for. $30,000 of the film's meager budget had to be spent returning the buildings to their original dingy and dilapidated state. Indeed, the location is one of the things that makes My Bloody Valentine stand out among the dozens of slashers that filled the American box office at the time. Because this was an independent production, not generated by the studio, it was shot entirely on location in Nova Scotia. All the scenes in the mines have a gritty realism because they're real coal mines. That made the actual shooting of the film much more arduous. The real mine only had so many elevators to get in and out, so the cast and the crew had to travel an hour each day just to get to where you could shoot in the tunnels. Even more fun was the fact that a limited number of lights could be brought down into the mines at one time, lest the whole place go up in flames. Another variation that My Bloody Valentine brings is this town is filled with working class adults, not dim-witted nubile teens. There's virtually no nudity in this movie, despite the fact that most of the killer's victims consider the dark, cold, dirty coal mine a great spot to get it on. Speaking of victims, one of the things that made My Bloody Valentine infamous was the level of gore on display. When I was a young kid, first discovering a new thing called video stores, I of course made a beeline for the horror section, seeing what films I could safely sneak past the store clerk and my parents. Even back then, My Bloody Valentine had a reputation as being on the extreme end of the horror genre. That reputation came from the fact that the MPAA originally rated My Bloody Valentine X and insisted on numerous cuts to give it an R. Every single death scene got trimmed, with one eliminated entirely. Stills of those deleted scenes leaked out, though, thanks to horror magazines like Fangoria, giving fans the sense that My Bloody Valentine was a film they didn't want you to see. Paramount Pictures had gotten a lot of bad press for all the violence in Friday the 13th, which they had released the previous year. So they were skittish about My Bloody Valentine's gore, and they went along with the MPAA's demand for cuts. For decades, the studio insisted that the missing footage has been lost forever. It wasn't until My Bloody Valentine was remade in 2009, another indicator of its outsized reputation, that a complete uncut print of the film was found. The extra gore can be found on the My Bloody Valentine Blu-ray. For those of you who want to see it, you know who you are. Bringing it back to Halloween, one other thing these two movies have in common, a very memorable final scene. But while Michael Myers went on to slowly lurch across a dozen more movies, My Bloody Valentine was a one and done. It ends on a perfectly creepy, unsettling note. One last thing I want to mention, even though this movie is readily available on a device in your pocket, you all came here at this appointed time to see this movie together. I think that's because people who value seeing movies on the big screen have a powerful, unconscious desire to, as Martin Scorsese has put it, share a common memory. So hold hands, you lovebirds, and let's all experience this gnarly little movie together. Thank you.